What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with a lucky dip of sorts, though this won't be the only Lady Gaga reaction on the channel. Big shout out to Mikey, great friend of the channel, who has made available a number of lucky dips as well as some other music, but also sent me a Lady Gaga tune called Disease. Now, full disclosure, I have actually heard this track before, though in snippets and in passing, which is further to say, at my work, they play a radio station which is stylized as 90s till now, so I've heard a lot of tracks that go back to my teenage years, but also tunes from more recent decades as well. And of those, there's a couple Lady Gaga songs that they play a lot, which is to say Bad Romance and Poker Face. So those two, even though I hear them in parts, sometimes I walk to the back of the store or I'm walking out of the store, but after hearing them multiple times, catching different snippets, those two songs I can think of melodically right away, as well as some of the vocalizations in both of the tunes, not really the lyrics. But if I heard snippets of those two tracks, I think I would immediately identify them. One song that I've seen up on the radio, which is actually on our TV, is Disease, and that one I've heard far less often, so as I sit here, I can't really think of the melody, much less any of her vocalizations, or even more so, any of the lyrics, but I remember seeing the thumbnail, which appears to be someone who's been struck by a car in an intersection. So I don't know if that image relates to the larger album, or whether it's specifically for the single Disease, and in that case it would be very amusing, because being hit by a vehicle is not so much a disease, but a impact injury, a physical damage that you've received. In any case, a disease, it's an affliction. In the medical world, diseases, viruses, these are technically different categories of maladies, but I would expect, or I would predict, that we're talking about a disease of the mind, some way of thinking or maybe behaving, and being unable to cure yourself or find some therapy for whatever the problem is, or whatever the behavioral form that is serving as metaphorically a disease. Now, obviously it could be an actual disease, but I find that less likely. I'll see what I can pick up on a first listen in this context, that is to say. This is Lady Gaga, the track is Disease, and it comes from friend of the channel, Mikey. Okay, the chorus I recognize. Ugh. There's a stripped down violence to these sections.
You are so tortured when you sleep.
Her vocals. Holy crap. So yes, the main line of the chorus did come back to me in the moment, like, oh, this is what I've heard sort of in the background as I've been working. But most of the song felt very fresh to me, so obviously it wasn't number one that I heard very often compared to the other two of hers that they play a lot on that station. But secondarily, the heaviness of the tune, the power, and as I said, the violence of the tune didn't come across in those brief and partial hearings. So first and foremost, she has fantastic vocals, incredible, and going all the way down low to these deep and guttural type of delivery moments, up into these high and soaring moments. Then we have her in the background doing these atmospheric, almost ethereal type vocals. And there's a couple moments in particular where she really puts some gusto into the way she hits the line leading into the chorus, and that was very impactful. So her vocal performance stands above the rest for me in this one, but even saying that, the sonics themselves were great. As I said, that sort of stripped down, heavy, plodding, almost like marching to the point where you're breaking the floor, that had a simple violence to it. There was simplicity, but also an intensity and a destructive character to it. And then, of course, there was like this electric grit that especially stood out in the latter half of the tune, where there was this real electric tension. And there were multiple phases of the tune where it felt like it was rising to a crescendo, but in a way where it has to explode, like something has to give, because it can't keep raising the pressure without something being destroyed or broken. So it feels like maybe some of the sonics were related to the lines. Lyrically, I'm not quite sure what's happening, but it sounds like she's an antidote, or she's presenting herself as someone who can get someone out of this disease. But she's saying near the beginning that, you know, you're as bad as you've ever been, you're the worst I've ever seen you. And ultimately, she's saying, if you do this, then maybe you'll do that. What was, if you're a sailor, then I can make you believe? I don't think it's sailor. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that is the line, but it felt like I don't quite know what to make of it, if that is the phrase, so I feel like that word I must have been mishearing. But yes, if you're saying if-then, if you're making conditional if-then statements, then the current status is not what you're promising, not what you're offering, or not what you're saying might be possible. But she's also talking about like rolling back your eyes in ecstasy, so yes, apparently she's presenting herself as a potential antidote for this person who is going through some malady, suffering from some disease. Again, I'm thinking psycho-emotional and or behavioral, so I don't really know what's happening, but it sounds like there's a, you know, if you take this red pill, which I'm presenting myself as, then maybe you won't be as you are now. Maybe you won't be whittling away into whatever disease and condition you've been afflicted with. But I really don't know how it all comes together in a very clear way, so ultimately I'll be looking forward to people's comments on that. But again, incredible vocals, great production, just a top tune. So as I said, you know, this isn't the initiation of a formal deep dive, but there will be some more Lady Gaga. So yeah, just a really cool opener in that regard. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.